Today in the shop, I'm going to show you the right way to epoxy your garage floor so that it outlasts your house no matter how much you abuse it. Let's get started. We're back, and today we're going to coat the floors in the shop with an industrial strength epoxy that will live up to the abuse of mechanical work and fabrication. Now the reason we're using an epoxy instead of a plastic tile or a vinyl flooring system is those systems simply don't last. Those are meant for light duty shops and man caves. And before we get started, I know everybody knows a guy that has a horror story from an epoxy floor that didn't work out. The purpose of this video is to show you how to prevent that from happening. The first thing we need to do is fill the control joints in the floor. To do this, we're going to use a foam core backer rod, 1.5 times the width of the joint, and just stuff it into the joint. Once that's done, we top it off with a Sikaflex self-leveling urethane. The reason we use this method rather than filling the joints with concrete is this way the joints can still do their job, but are no longer visible. We need to properly etch the floor, and this is one of the main reasons we hear about epoxy floors failing. The epoxy kit is going to come with an etching solution. Throw it away. Get a sprayer, fill it with diluted muriatic acid, and be sure to wear a respirator. Once it's done, pressure wash the floor and let it dry overnight. If you have any small cracks or imperfections that need to be addressed, this is the time to take care of those. Concrete is very porous, which means our first coat of epoxy is mostly going to soak into the pores. And you can use color or clear for the base coat. It's generally cheaper to use clear. Use a good quality brush because epoxy will rip the bristles out of a cheap brush and that'll ruin your finish. Start with the edges and finish with a low nap woven roller. If you're using multiple kits, it's important to mix all of the part A's together so that you get a uniform color. Once mixed, you can separate them and only mix what you need according to included instructions. Now you can mix by hand, but a paddle mixer on a power drill makes things much easier. Once you're ready to apply the epoxy, follow the same steps as the base coat, stopping to apply colored chips every few feet. Let the floor dry overnight, then use a floor scraper to take off the tops of any chips that didn't lay flat. Repeat the process with clear one more time. This protects the floor and makes it much easier to clean. We also add a non-skid additive to this layer of clear, which gives the floor a light texture to prevent slipping. If you need to apply more color chips, lay them down just before applying the final coat of clear. There you have it, guys. I hope this helps you install a quality floor in your shop. Now, a couple things to mention. Make sure to wait 24 hours for light foot traffic and 5 to 7 days for vehicle traffic so the coating can cure thoroughly. Also, make sure to use a solvent-based kit and not a water-based kit. Water-based kits leave a paper-thin coating that chips and laminates, and this is the #1 reason we hear about epoxy failures. Also, pay attention to the weather. Your kit should have specific directions as to the time of year this kit can be installed. If you use the correct product, prep the surface correctly, and install the product correctly, you should end up with a floor that will survive decades of abuse. I put a link to all the products and tools used in this video in the description. If you have questions or comments, please drop them below. That's all for this video. Make sure to subscribe and follow us on Facebook and the Gram.